Hello and welcome to DCP Live episode number 170. Yes. How's it going, guys?
I know we don't reference chat a lot, but a hype train is beginning.
Hype train has started in our chat.
Crap.
There's a new thing on Twitch where if you gift a sub or you do bits, it starts like this whole hype train thing, and then it levels up the more people sub and do bits and stuff.
That's cool.
And then people get like free emotes and all sorts of stuff.
Nice.
Did this just roll out today?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I was about to say that has to be super new because I don't know, I've never seen that before, but
yeah, it's just like hype train.
First time hype train. Oh, it's net 94% or something?
94%.
Wow. This is exciting stuff from Twitch.
I'm going to get so distracted. Like, guys, the hype train is at 72%. We just reached 100%.
Oh
We're going to the next level
on the hype
I
train.
want to go to 1,000%.
Holy
If you're listening to the podcast, I'm sorry.
Audio listeners are like, hype
so
train?
distracted.
I don't see no bar being filled up on Twitch. Oh my gosh. Marco, welcome.
Hey, man.
Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah.
As a Destiny noob, pretty much.
Destiny noob.
Oh,
Coming in here.
I don't know about that.
I feel like you're probably more professional at Destiny than all of us.
Did
Maybe
you play?
combined.
Did you play any
maybe.
Destiny 1?
Maybe with some things. Other things, definitely no.
Yeah. Did you play any Destiny 1? Or is this completely fresh?
No.
Okay.
It wasn't on PC, so I was like,
Fair point.
Right.
Fair
Ooh.
point.
And then I wanted to jump in on Destiny 2 when it launched, but then there was also a PC delay of a month or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I was like, I don't want to be a month behind everybody else when it comes down to making content.
True.
So I kind of just skipped on it there, and then I guess I finally jumped in when I heard about the Activision split up, and when Division 2 also wasn't doing too great, I guess.
Interesting.
So anything before Forsaken, I never played.
Oh.
What was it about the Activision split that made you go like, oh, I want to try Destiny now?
Right. So I've always had this idea of a game that is always growing, always evolving, that you can just invest, I don't know, like 1,000 hours into, and it will be, you will still have something to do. And I was always hoping that Division would be that game.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt that with the launch of the Division 2, it was just another Ubisoft franchise now. They're just going to push out a Division 3, a Division 4. Just like they have, I don't know how many Assassin's Creeds now, 12 maybe, I don't really know.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I didn't want to play that kind of game where it just mostly focuses on the PvE. It mostly just focuses on the launch and then, maybe a couple more DLCs, but then that's it, right?
Can you actually dig a little bit deeper into what happened with Division 2? Like, obviously this podcast is about Destiny, but I'm curious.
Yeah, so for myself, I feel like they first up, they dumbed down the Dark Zone a lot. They took away the VoIP, for example, so you couldn't really talk with other players while you're playing against them, which for me was a huge avenue for content. There's like so much stuff you can do with VoIP.
Let me guess. You were like, you're Mr. Rogers in there saying, isn't it a wonderful day to be in the Dark Zone?
No, it was fun. Division 1 was fun that way. And I feel like with Division 2, they tried to do everything. They tried to take away a lot of things that made the Division 1 fun, I guess, to protect the player base. They put turrets next to the checkpoints to prevent people from being killed in the only area where you can kill other players. It's so the PvP didn't really do it for me. And then on the PvE side of things, the game was better, I guess. But when the game wasn't doing too well, like a couple of weeks after launch, like the player base dropped off fast. I felt like they pulled a lot of developers from the game because they started delaying the DLCs, and they announced that very early on. And I don't know, there just wasn't a whole,
I remember there was like a whole year of content that they had planned. And I was one of those players who played it for basically a month, and then I just suddenly woke up one day and was like, I guess I'm done with Division.
It's
pretty much
out.
like 95% of the players that played it. So they had a second raid coming, but that was delayed. I think it was supposed to come out this year.
Yeah, I thought
previous
it was.
year, 2019.
Yeah.
And then they delayed it to early 2020. And now just yesterday, we have another announcement that they delayed it again to mid 2020.
Whoa.
So they're just delaying it over and over. It's like they basically have no developers on that game working anymore.
Wow, that is concerning.
Which probably already working on Division 3. It's just another Ubisoft franchise now, which is I don't know. So when I heard the split up with Activision, I was like, hey, Bungie is going to work on maybe Destiny for a lot more years. This is actually going to be that sort of game that I'm looking for. And that's what kind of got me to finally try it out on PC, I guess.
So Shadowkeep, that's when you jumped in, right?
Yeah. Well, just a little before that. I had like a couple months before that just to get to know the game and to do all the things in the base game or in the Forsaken DLC already.
Were you like testing the waters, seeing if you liked it, if it was going to be something that you'd be into?
Yeah, and it wasn't too great at first because that was before New Light. Not that the New Light experience is so great now. I think it's not the best still, but yeah, I don't know. The story wasn't too interesting. The missions weren't too exciting. It was all very easy. I could basically just walk in like a bot, just hold W with some random assault rifle, and it would be fine no matter what.
That's funny.
And I did not actually enjoy the game that much up until raids. Raids was where I really started to like the game. Glad introduced me with Fami. They started raiding with me, and that was super fun. It was like, honestly, the Destiny raids are probably some of the best PvE content in any game I've ever played. Like, they do that really well.
They say a lot of people say that Vault of Glass is what saved Destiny 1 because it was.
Yeah, I never played the Destiny 1 raids, so I would really love it if they just ported those over somehow, so I could play those too. But for me, the favorite was definitely Last Wish. That's
a beautiful raid.
We get into the blind as well. Yeah, really, really, it's just everything about it is just so cool. Spent about 13 hours to complete it because we were overlight, of course. We had Glad and Femi there to just help us with damage if we needed it, because I was running around with 2 primaries back then still. But yeah, that was really good fun.
Yeah.
And then Leviathan is also really up there. And the most recent raid, Garden of Salvation, is also actually really good, I think.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that one too.
Yeah, I thought that was really well done raid. The pacing and the set pieces, the landscape. And
and also even like when you complete it, like what makes Leviathan so great is not necessarily encounters, but all the hidden things in it. The way you can explore the ship. That was like half of our playtime, just exploring all the little paths in between.
Yeah.
I think the most recent raid, Garden, also had a little bit like puzzles where you have to like find stuff out.
Especially with Divinity, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. The Divinity quest. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fun.
I wish more exotics in the game were like that. That was really cool.
We'll get there because we got exotic stuff to talk about this week and grumblings about those things. So your transition from Division 2, because obviously it clearly had a plateau and then a bottoming out of the player base, and then Activision changed things and said, this looks like a game that's going to be supported for a long time. Technically, they've been working on this for like 5 years at this point, supporting it pretty regularly.
Yeah.
I still think that now that I've played Destiny 2 for a while, I feel like there are definitely going to be a lot of benefits to doing a Destiny 3 at some point, because I think there are definitely some inherent flaws that they just cannot seem to fix with this game, and that will never get changed or get improved. For example, I tried to improve my little brother to Destiny. I tried to improve some friends to Destiny. And the number one thing is always like loading screens. Like I have to go through 3 loading screens just to play a Crucible match. I have to go do this and this and this. Why can I not just get my bounties from the tower from the menus?
Yeah.
Why is that a thing? Why do I have to go back and forth the whole time? It's just there's so much busy work in between playing. And then once you start to getting into grinding, there's like you can only do a few activities and not really experience most of what I think makes Destiny like a good game.
How do you
and I think
how do you feel about the build system right now with the armor? Because obviously Division has a very min-max.
I feel like it's not really. I feel like the armor. I feel like it doesn't really matter too much in Destiny compared to like other games. There's the difference that you get are so small.
Yeah.
Sure, in PvP, it's definitely the difference between killing somebody or dying sometimes. But I feel like the weapon perks, they add very little small bonuses that don't really... Like, if I don't have a god roll, it doesn't matter most of the time. If I want to play, even if I even played the raid on launch day with like 920 was the cap then, or I can't remember, but I didn't have min-maxed gear either. I was just going in there. I just maxed out recovery because that's like the stat that's only useful, I guess. And I had a couple, I guess, mods in there, but that's it. That's all I did, and we were just fine. I mean, wasn't that the raid was easy on launch day? It was pretty difficult. Still cleared it.
Which raid was that again?
It's the Garden of Salvation raid.
Okay, so you did that as part of the world's first race, is that right?
Yeah, we got I don't know what place we got. I don't know, but we did it in 14 hours. We got stuck on the last boss. We're pretty close behind Fami because we weren't streaming ourselves, but we were watching the streams to see, strategies and all that stuff. But the final boss, we just couldn't do it. We just kept. We had so much bad luck there. We had the boss stuck on 2 HP, and then I don't know, the game froze, and then we just fucked up, and then the morale went down. Somebody went AFK for 15 minutes because he had enough of it, and it was just a mess. But,
rage quit. Was it? So that was
much.
Your first experience going for World First? Like, did you prep for it? Like, how did you feel?
Well, I prepped
about
for
being
it.
Part of that?
I mean, I needed to get to 920 light, but other than that, I didn't. I mean, I just knew I wanted to do it because the other raids going in there blind was just a lot of fun. And but for the next race, I'll definitely take it like a lot more serious. I'll make sure I'll be more mimics because I still want to beat Glad in a race just to get back at him for bullying me during all the other raids.
Yeah. Wait, did he bully you to do the other ones before you participated in Garden? Just like he knew you were going to do Garden, or just once you started playing Destiny, he's like, you have to play
so I started playing Destiny 2 in July, and Glad introduced me. Like, he started playing with me during. Oh, he's in chat too.
Yeah, there may have been some like seeds planted here in the questions.
Yeah, no. So I did basically all the raids with him except for what's the one again with the machine?
Scourge of the Past.
Scourge of the Past.
Insurrection Prime.
Names.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did all the raids with Glad except for that one, and well, I guess I just got bullied a little bit. Like, he would put the flag on places like somewhere in the sky when I wouldn't know how the Titan jump would work properly yet. So I had to go like in Last Wish in the Riven room where you have this big ball and you can apparently like jump all the way to the top. He had me like jump all the way somewhere just to get some ammo for my gun. Or in Leviathan, the encounter with the water where you have to like stand on the middle to damage some bells. He would place a Titan bubble there on the middle, so we
you couldn't shoot out of it.
Yeah, and we killed ourselves with grenade launchers pretty much. He's like, you should totally play that Outrageous Fortune, go for it, and then he just put the bubble.
To be fair, and you didn't play a lot of Destiny 1, that is a huge part of becoming a Destiny player.
That's true.
Is like in Vault of Glass, there was this place where people were like, oh man, there's a chest. Like, it's out there, and people would literally jump out into nothing believing like you could do it. There was in the Taken King, King's Fall, the Dick
Wall's classic.
And there's a number of, and we got that in the dungeon too, actually, where you set people up and this giant piston comes and like slams you off into the oblivion. And that's just part of it. So he's doing you a favor.
It's
a rite of passage.
It is. That's the word.
Rite of passage as a raider in Destiny. Yeah.
That's cool. But maybe one last question on World's First. Now, you did Last Wish, and you, I assume you already, they were showing you how to do it. It wasn't blind, right?
No, it was blind.
Oh, you did it blind, and you did it in 13 hours?
Yeah, we did all the raids blind. That's the fun of it, right?
God, gamer, 13 hours, awesome. First time. That's
awesome.
No,
because obviously we had Fami and Glad, and once we told them what to do, they instantly those people just know how to play.
The rest of your team's like, that's it. Okay,
we just had to figure out the mechanics, but as far as execution, we didn't have to teach them anything.
Yeah, that is nice.
And so it was just easier, and I think I still think they carried the damage from Riven's part because we didn't have enough DPS to actually kill Riven. We did the whole ice thing where we didn't cheese it. Nice. But I still don't think we had enough damage.
I did it.
Yeah, I was running around with a Misfit, and I was using the Misfit as boss DPS.
God. God, I know they let you do that.
I know Glad in chat is asking to ask about the Last Wish door boss, because apparently that is a good story.
Oh yeah, okay. So that's a really good story. So in Last Wish, there is which encounter is it? It is you go over the bridge, and then there's the next
giant ogre.
There's the next encounter where there's like 6 phases, like with the whole song and everything.
Right? Oh, Shirochi. Is that what it is?
I think so.
Was it the one with the pads that you jump on and the
yeah.
And where you have to go.
So before you go in there, there's this big ass door, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and that one only opens if all 6 people are in front of it. But we didn't know that, so we had like 5 people in front of it, and we're like, the door's not opening. And then Wids, which is another friend that jumped in from Division with us, he actually jumped up with some rocks, and he was like, "Hey, we got to go this way."
We can go
and he
up.
just found a way over the door.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, I guess that's where we have to go. So we actually spent running around in the whole boss area for about 40-50 minutes or something like that. Just like figuring out, I don't know where to go. Like, where are we supposed to? There's a pad here. If I stand on this, I'm taking damage. Where are we supposed to go?
Fantastic.
Dude, that's like me. I like overthink and put on a tinfoil hat.
The alignment of the sun.
Because we had so much time to figure stuff out, we did kill that boss in, I don't know, like a couple tries.
Oh, nice.
I think it was the 4th or the 5th try, so it was fairly easy because we already knew the whole environment. We're like, we're supposed to go here now. We're supposed to go up, but yeah, that was quite the experience.
So the last question I wanted to ask on that was, so compared to that, where it was a raid that already was out and some of your first experience there, you had people who knew what they were doing. You went into a brand new raid. Now, did you find that, like, was it thrilling? Was it frustrating? Was your adrenaline up on? Maybe compared to Division and the moments you've had there.
Well, the Division didn't really have a lot of. There was one raid. We got world first for that, by the way.
Nice.
You guys on PC.
No, but
on PC,
where you could play it.
It was the combat was definitely what caught me off guard with being under light is definitely a different experience. That's what I guess made us not being able to complete the final boss. We got to the final boss in under 4 hours. We did everything else, and then the final boss took us 10 hours. So it's like we just couldn't clear it. And I think that was mostly to do with just the light level and everything.
Yeah, being light level checked is very intense.
But no, it was actually very similar to doing Last Wish, like trying to figure out mechanics and that kind of stuff. So I guess I had some practice doing those raids blind. But also, I feel like, I guess that the first time that people look up tutorials, because they just want to get the loot fast, but I feel like the main reason to play Destiny is for those raids. I don't want to spoil those with guides on how to do stuff. I think that the most fun part is just like going in there for like knowing that you're going to play for 10 hours with some friends and just, I don't know, trying to beat it.
It's something we've said about Destiny stuff in general for a long time, right? Like Destiny is at its best when you don't know how to do something and everything's a surprise. Same with like the exotic quests, like Whisper and all of that. Trying to figure
those were great too.
Was fun.
Yeah, those were great too. I really enjoyed 0 Hour as well. Those kind of things. I wish we had more of that. Really wish. With the dungeons, those are also really good. I feel like those are
some great content. I wish there was more of it.
Yeah.
It's a nice problem to have.
It is, yeah. I always tell people that like going in blind to raids or high level content is some of the best stuff you can do as a Destiny player, if of course you have the team. Because a lot of people, their response is, well, I don't have a team to go in, so I can't raid because those type of things. And that is unfortunate. And I know
aren't there like 1 million people in the looking for game Discord server to find like players?
Some people feel LFG adverse. They don't want to.
Yeah, I
they
get,
don't want to go in
too,
and like brave the waters of toxicity at times.
I see. I hear so many stories of players. Well, I went for a day 1 clear, but after 3 hours, my team quit.
Right.
I'm like, if you're gonna dip out after 3 hours, then why do you start a day 1 raid in the first? Like you're gonna be there for possibly 24 hours.
Exactly.
There should be no excuse to dip out before that, right?
Yep. Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, we I think we've generally gone almost. Well, our longest we've gone now as a team has been 18 hours or so. For what, Crown of Sorrow?
It's pretty lengthy.
I don't remember actually.
Yeah.
We went Garden of Salvation. We did for a really long time too.
Yeah, it was probably similar, but I think Crown just beat it out because of the time of release, you know, because remember.
So how was Garden of Salvation compared to other raids on day one? Because I never had the other raids under light or without knowing what to do.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah, Garden.
I feel like Garden was fairly easy, except the final boss, which was extremely
final
hard.
boss was tough because of light level checks, because you're locked to 920, and then every time you took a dip in the milk, like it was zapping you so quick, and everything else hurt in there.
Yep.
I
mean, if you built, you could.
Even if you built, you're still getting hit hard. Like if you got hit by one of those Cyclops, you're dead. Right? Like
yeah. That's true. You got to remember to hit those Cyclops.
I think the hardest day one was what's the name of it? You guys know which one I mean.
Scourge of the Past, Crown of Sorrow.
No, it was the third or the second.
Power Penis.
The second.
Power.
Second mini raid.
The Spire of Stars.
Yes.
Spire was the hardest? Nah, that
Spire
easy.
first day.
It was when it first came out.
When you know the mechanics, it's easy.
Because you were underpowered.
Check was
you were underpowered.
Yeah, if you know the mechanics,
the whole
it's easy,
thing
but
was
being underleveled and confused as to how it goes about ended up making that be a very long day for a lot of people.
Yep.
Yeah, I had a lot of trouble throwing the orb at the boss at the end.
Yeah.
I think I missed that like 7 times in a row, and my team got really upset.
Yeah, there's a distance. Like if you're too far away, then it easily misses. If you're close enough, then it like connects them easily.
That was a little bit tricky sometimes. And then the ships again, you miss another couple times.
Yeah, but
it was they've changed a lot about the way light level works since then. So I feel like Garden it felt a little bit more fair in terms of being under light. Like you could deal with it a little bit better, except for the final boss. The final boss really did kick your ass. But before that, being under light and them having the contest stuff felt really punishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the contest mode? Is it always 30 light?
See, contest mode wasn't around for Spire, yeah.
Crown of Sorrow is the first one. There's just the summer is the first time that it came out.
So the rate is then like permanently just higher light, or how does that work?
They cap your light to where you can't, even if you're above a certain light level, it doesn't give you any kind of benefits.
Oh.
So it automatically makes you underleveled.
So the rate would always be really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and basically what happened was it's like sort of like now where you've hit, well, it's different, but we hit our end game power. Did it go up for Spire even when it came out? I don't remember if it did or not. But let's assume that it didn't go up much, but it was very easy to still get some power. But when you went in, like there was no more power on the map and they just leveled. Similarly, I mean, felt like contest. You just, in other words, it didn't matter. Like, let's say you went in at, 700.
That's rough.
It was 710, then it was 720, then it was 730. You didn't see it, but you felt it, right?
Yeah,
I think you did see it actually, but anyway.
That's rough because then playing contest, I feel like a lot of people are not going to be able to clear that then.
A lot of people couldn't.
Especially not if they're just coming from LFG.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, LFG definitely. There are some times where some LFG players just magic happens and they connect. But, like, for a lot of people, if you just go in, like, not prepared for what type of day.
Yeah, wasn't either of Worlds beaten that way?
I'm actually not sure.
Just a random group that got together?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, the bus drivers. Wait, that was D1, right?
No, somebody.
Bus drivers was a Crota.
Yeah, that's
we interviewed someone on Worlds First at some point for Argos, but anyway, one other point though that someone had brought up in chat though, that was also in the first year of Destiny. Marco, you may have been told this already, but right, the way the weapons slotted was totally different. So you didn't your ammo economy, like your ability to have heavy and sniper and all that was so different, and so.
I think we played double primary in that raid, or at least one of those two, to have like the day one experience.
Oh, nice.
So I had to play like hand cannon and something else.
Oh, they made
something
you do
like that.
Awesome. Yeah,
that's great.
I don't know if we ended up doing it though. I remember him. I'd have to watch back the video to see the weapons. I don't remember if we actually ended up doing it.
But the ammo economy is just different now.
It is,
too,
yeah.
It's hard to put into words now.
It feels like a different game, even though it's still Destiny.
But I think to answer your question, I felt like Garden of Salvation was, fairly balanced up until, it just checked you really hard on the last boss and demanded everybody was just on point. Everything up to that was pretty balanced, but you just had to get the right DPS and not die.
Also the lead up though too, to getting ready for the raid. Like, was it a day or 2 days? I can't remember. But it didn't feel like the DLC dropped and then you were like,
it was 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, it was 3 or 4 days. So you could take a couple days to grind to get ready, and then.
Also, I feel like
be ready for it.
I don't know, but I feel like you basically needed everybody to run Izanagi on day one. Otherwise, you just wouldn't have the DPS.
It's
pretty crazy.
So
it's pretty crazy.
This was not information that everybody was privy to initially. And Fran was like, "Yo, Izanagi's. We got to go Izanagi's on this on day one."
And we said that's a great idea, Fran. And Fran was like, "You know what? Never mind. I've changed my mind. Sweet business."
Yeah.
They're so like they're high pressure.
So you didn't run it?
No, I did eventually, but there was a lot of like, look, you kind of should switch back. I mean, I was having certainly other problems at times. Like, I wasn't like the problem or anything, but we all get tired eventually, right? But I kept pushing because like
used Izanagi's more often, we might have cleared it within like 2 hours.
You know what it was?
Told us earlier, Fran. We might have got it done first day.
The difference is what I've learned, and honestly, like playing with DCP is awesome because it's really chill. As much as we love, World's First, I don't think we're going in and be like, yes, we got this. Like there's so many talented players, right? Well, I can't tell. Well, it doesn't show it on our face. But what I've learned though is you kind of just settle into some weapons and like overall that's fine. It's working. I'm the type of player, and they know I love tinfoil hats. Like I love the idea of, one day maybe I'll get him to do it, but the solidarity of like, okay, let's all try this round and let's all try this. And it's just, it doesn't go that way.
No.
I'll sort of say it, I'm like, so what about Izanagi's? And then it's kind of silent. And then
everybody just walks in.
And Taft will be like, well, like, oh, here we go. I can tell he doesn't even want it. But Izanagi's, you actually did need the catalyst though. And like Izanagi's was good, but I didn't have the catalyst, and that was honestly a problem.
Isn't that just kills with it though?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have
you did some bad raid prep.
I know.
See, here's the thing.
You're right about
Izanagi's was there's like the pre-Izanagi's era and then the post-Izanagi's era. And they're very different metas. Very, very different.
Which is before and after the instant reload.
Yeah,
nerfs,
instant
right?
reload. You had Mountaintop. You had basically grenade launchers. Also, Whisper the Worm was like still top tier. And now Izanagi's just shadows all that when you have the Catalyst.
Yeah.
So a lot of people didn't even have the Catalyst ready.
Same. Yeah, a lot of people didn't.
No,
they were like, oh, Izanagi's.
We watched a lot of YouTube videos in preparation for what has the best DPS and then like what weapon should we get.
Nice.
So we did some preparation, I guess, for the raids. We didn't have like the min-max builds, but we had the right weapons at least.
Yeah.
See, Fran should have been Googling tactics and relaying them to us, but he didn't.
Never shared like
but like you said,
he never shared a playlist of YouTube videos, man. Come on, Fran.
Yeah.
A playlist.
You just follow a couple people, Error, or I don't know how to say his name, but he usually posts what's good, just like
Fran,
you could have curated a list for us, and then we would have had it.
I didn't have that list. I
just had like you gotta play this, and we did, and it worked out. It's that simple.
True. Well, Marco, we're depending on you for the next one, man.
No, not me. No.
No?
You're gonna withhold the playlist, the YouTube video playlist of preparations.
I mean, I do want to get rolled first, so
go for the title.
I might just keep all the
We might be real big competition, so I understand.
Yeah.
We don't know when the next raid is.
You never know. Hey, glad you didn't see me as competition, but I almost beat him in the race. So
you're gunning,
next
man.
time I'm getting.
That's very impressive.
Next time, man. Next time.
How has the transition from Division playstyle to Destiny been? Was that severe or easy, or you didn't really notice it much?
I've actually really enjoyed the movement in Destiny 2, because I've always loved games where you have a lot of freedom and where you want to go. And when I first started Destiny, I didn't know that there was so much freedom.
Okay.
Like you could basically jump on so many things. And I mean, I've played a lot of platform games when I was younger. I really liked that.
There's a lot of verticality in Destiny.
I play a lot of Halo, where you also have, I mean, a good amount of movement in there with high jumps and everything. And even in the Division, like a thing I was known for was something called the AIDS move, where, I don't know, you do some weird movement and you can't be hit by bullets in the dark zone or something.
Wait, what is this?
Or no, it's just like, so in Division you had like a combination of like keys that you could press really fast on your keyboard, and your character would basically like strafe left to right, and like it was really hard to kill or hit somebody.
That sounds pretty toxic.
I don't know,
Marco, is that toxic?
Oh yeah. No. As I said, I'm the most Christian player to ever exist. So don't worry. No, but I don't know. I really enjoy the movement in Destiny. It's something. It takes some practice, but it's fun. And that's something that I've always. That's also something that I didn't like about the Division 2. They dumped down the movement a lot. Like it was a cover shooter always, but now it felt really sluggish. And all that stuff, and it's just another thing that I didn't really like too much. But a Destiny movement is great, except for when sometimes you randomly just die for no reason. That's the only thing.
The architects.
Yeah, sometimes you just get. Just yesterday, I was playing some strikes to get some. Just to get some experience for the season pass, and it was this mission. I don't know the names, but it was the strike. It was I think it was on Nessus. And I don't know, I jumped to some elevator and the elevator took me too high and I just slammed in the wall and died. Like, what?
You also got to look out for the tiny rocks on the floor. If you jump on those the wrong angle, they'll take you out.
Really? Yeah. So sometimes it's a little weird, but I can live with it. It's fine. It's
doesn't happen too often, but occasionally.
Yeah. That's great.
All right.
Yeah. The transition hasn't been. It's been fun. Mostly a lot of fun. It's been a little tricky with YouTube, of course, because I just basically did a full 180 with my content. But it worked out okay, I guess.
So I got a question before we dig into some YouTube stuff.
All right.
What's your main? And this is important.
You don't know? I play One-Eyed Mask Titan, Sunbreaker, so I can push people off the map.
We are toxic.
Toxic, man.
I even play it in PvE.
Well,
that's how my people recognize me.
I mean, that's okay to use it in PvE.
Oh, just so people recognize you.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, but I just released a video about getting 5,000 the legends in comp. What is it called? 5,500 rankers. Yeah, I used the One-Eyed Mask for that all the way.
Lord of Wolves.
I mean, a lot of them.
No, I played Sniper. No, I'm not playing. No, I'm not playing. Not
You're
going
not willing to go
that far.
Okay. But close.
No, I wouldn't go that far. Just the One-Eyed Mask and Middle Tree, because I wouldn't go as far to play
Middle Tree
bombs.
Hammers.
No, Middle Tree. No, Middle Tree. The racing car, the flying.
Oh,
thing.
the missile. Code of the missile.
The missile, yes,
oh,
missile.
That's a cool tree.
Nice. That is a good tree. Yeah, especially with the fake Fist of Havoc.
It's a lot of fun. Initial override. It gives you a lot of damage. It's a fun subclass. And I don't really know how to use the other supers, so I just use this one when I see a super to panic, and then both supers are gone, I guess, because I kill them, and then my super is gone. And then
Yeah.
Most of the time, I hope.
Have you tried other classes? What do you think of Warlocks?
No, Warlocks are weak. They
This is true.
How fast he was.
No. I have a lot of friends that play Warlock.
And they're bitches,
and every time
aren't
that
they?
we raid, I can just every time. Listen, every time we raid, I use my my Sunbreaker to push them off the map. They can't even save themselves.
Yeah, because they floof.
Yeah, they just float down very slowly.
You want to know why they floof? Because they're covered in piss from all them pools that they're leaving on the ground. So they're heavy. They're weighted down.
It's like it is.
It's wet robes.
It is just not the superior class. It is not the superior.
Wow.
It's the Titans all the way.
Yeah. Titans are for fun. Hunters are for business. We should probably move on from this.
I like it though.
Yeah. I actually wanted to ask about YouTube, the transition. For those that don't know, that are tuning in and don't know you as a content creator yet, when did you get started with YouTube?
About 8 years ago, actually.
Wow.
I've been doing this for a long time, but not seriously. Like basically for three and a half years, I was just uploading the live gameplay commentaries, the high quality content.
Live comms.
And at one point I was like, I really like this YouTube. Maybe I should try to figure out how I can grow this a little bit. And so I did what basically a lot of other people were doing, that were trying to grow a YouTube channel, and which is news videos about a particular game, and just like that kind of stuff. So I saw something that I really liked at E3, was The Division. There wasn't really, nobody was really covering it yet because it was new. I was like, all right, let's give this a try. And slowly built up my channel that way, and then became basically the main guy for that game for many years until recently. I don't know. I was just done with it. I was just tired of it. I guess second game just wasn't as exciting.
So Division 1 was your.
And I was also really done with guides and like opinion pieces, because the thing is that your videos can be like super professional. Like you can make it as good as you want to make it, but when it comes down to YouTube, you're only gonna, I don't know, get as big as the game itself. And I hit that plateau where I can't grow anymore, like a long time ago. Like I was slowly gaining some subscribers, I guess. But I mean, at the same time, existing subscribers would also quit playing the Division, and so my viewer base would be very stagnant. There was just, I don't know. And even when the Division 2 came out, my channel didn't really grow anymore. It's just like I was always going to stay in that same place, and I was just really bored of just doing guides too. So not only was I bored of the Division, but also of the content that I was making. I was just like not really feeling it anymore. So I just needed a complete switch if I was going to keep doing YouTube. And I tried a couple things to see what I like, and I really like making funny videos. I guess it's like completely different.
Yeah, that's kind of also, right?
Yeah,
completely. My first videos weren't that great, but I feel like they're getting better now. And I feel like if I just keep doing this, then I'll not only have a way to grow again a little bit on YouTube, but I'll also be doing something that I like again.
Nice.
Playing a game that I actually enjoy as well. The thing is, I see a lot of these Destiny YouTubers now talk about the issues that the game has, which was what I used to do. And it's just crazy what like a perspective switch this has been, because when I was playing the Division and I was making those type of videos, like, yeah, these things are really big issues, and this is what the game needs to improve upon. But now I'm on the other side of the spectrum, where I literally just play the game for fun. And every time I see one of those videos now where this is a big issue, I'm like, I never even noticed, that kind of stuff.
Interesting.
Because I literally just get on to just like have fun, and that's it. I'm not trying to get all the exotic quests. I'm not living in the Crucible. I'm just like, I'm just doing what I want to do. And if I don't feel like it, I just don't do it. It's like a completely different direction for me.
It's a very healthy perspective.
It is. When you get bogged down with that like negative perspective all the time, it just kind of takes over you, and then all you're doing is looking at the game in that way, which kind of makes it difficult for you to enjoy it.
Yeah, I guess that's what I had with the Division, and what a lot of these Destiny content creators now have with Destiny, which it's not to say a bad thing or anything, but I know where they're coming from. I just feel like for me, like those issues don't really exist, and I feel like I can see that now. That for the majority of the player base, those issues probably also don't really exist, because a lot of the players probably also only get on a few hours just to have some fun and then go off. It's been a real eye opener, like what kind of different perspectives that can give.
Very interesting. One more thing, you're from the Netherlands, right?
Yeah.
I
live under the sea.
That's awesome. How is the Destiny? Have you attended any Destiny related stuff over there?
No, not really. Like in real life?
Yeah, just curious if there has been things that
not that I know of. Not really. Okay. No.
It's funny. I think they just had something there randomly.
Did they? Yeah. I know there's things that happen in Europe, but I don't know if like specifically in Netherlands and all that.
Yeah, normally
I think there was something in the UK, but not in the Netherlands.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, if you've heard like Anubis and what's the name of that?
I got this though.
Nice from the store.
That's nice. That's
no. They actually sent it to me.
Nice.
It's very useful awesome. Because it also has a lid on it which I can close, which means I can just fill this up all the way with Bacardi, and if I get drunk and accidentally knock it over, it doesn't spill all over my desk. It's like they know I needed this for my content, so they just send it to me, and it works out great.
That's amazing.
This. That's great. Should we get into the Destiny stuff this week?
Did you want to talk about the other thing
Absolutely.
First, Steph? Okay.
Yeah. So before we get into juicy Destiny detail type of stuff, Destiny Down Under podcast is doing an event for the Australian brushfire thing that's been happening right now, which is obviously super sad. It's happening in Australia. So if you guys want to want to join, help support, and get on the get behind and help out what's going on there. They're organizing events called Destiny 2 Fans Australian Brushfire Appeal. So we're gonna link the stuff in Twitch chat and also in the description for the show, so you guys can get into helping out, because it's super sad what's going on with the fire down in Australia.
Yeah, absolutely. It's there's links in chat now, and then I'm sure there'll be links in YouTube and all that other stuff if you want to help out. It's being ran by the Aussies of the Destiny community.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so definitely, if you're in a position to help and get on board with that, that'd be great. So. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Destiny stuff.
There was a TWAB.
TWAB, yeah. I didn't read the TWAB actually.
We want to hit up the TWAB first, just because it's pretty short, I think.
I didn't read it either.
There's only a few things.
I can
You'll
read.
get it.
I got this. Don't worry.
I can read.
Can I? I don't know. Maybe I can't. So it was this week. A Bungie was the first one since the holidays, because they took like a 2-week break. Not a whole lot in there, but there is some stuff that I think is worth mentioning for sure. So of course they talk about the Devil's Ruin exotic quest, which we can talk about right after we're done reading through. Go right into the quest. Yep. I know people have lots to say. And there's something from the Bungie security team, which they said that the security team has been improving Destiny's anti-cheat functionality, which detects players violating any of Bungie's restrictions and ban policies. So this is going to be an improvement that's not currently in place, but looks like it's going to be in place in the coming week or so, which is great. So they're obviously working on finding a way to be able to auto detect people that are using stuff and get them out of there, because it sucks.
Well,
what's happening.
I got a question. Let's say I'm in the Crucible and I use something to help my aim to be
like an aimbot. You could
highly. Whoa, I don't want to go so far as to call it aimbot, but let's say it makes my aim
an aim assistance directing its attention towards the Destiny application.
Yeah, proportionally corrective measured towards making sure my aim is not potato.
Yes.
Asking for a friend.
Asking
right?
for a friend. Yes. Would this qualify as a ban for using something like that?
Yes. But what you could do is you could go on the forums and ask why you were banned.
Okay.
And Bungie can respond to you.
They could tell me that I was using a proportionary cautionary tale of aim assistance.
No, they'll just unban you.
Oh, they'll unban.
Yeah, I'm sure. Absolutely. They'll be like, "Oh, you said you weren't doing it."
Okay.
Just tell them that you spent like a couple $100 on silver, and they'll give you your account back.
Okay.
Wow.
Nice.
That's how that works.
Yeah, or if you just said, I just wanted to try it out and see what happened.
I just wanted to make sure that the anti-cheat software worked.
Yeah, I was making a
I'm
YouTube
doing
video
you guys a service
about how bad it was. I wasn't using it.
So
I just don't want to give people ideas.
Speaking about contacting to see why you were banned and what's going on. So historically, Bungie has not given players the ability to appeal a restriction or a ban, because every single ban is looked over by a Bungie employee who works on the security team. There's no ban that happens automatically through reports. That does not happen. It's always something that they look into as an actual human, and then they ban you. So that's why they've been like, no, we don't need to review it, because we've already reviewed it by like 4 people already. But what they are going to be doing going forward is they will be providing a resource for players to appeal a restriction or a ban. So more details are available on their appeal contact form, which is linked in the TWAB if you cheated and need to go contact them as to why you're banned. You can do that.
You need confirmation as to why you were cheating.
You need the form? I can link it. I'll link you the form.
I'm gonna need that email for a friend.
So and they get that. So that's what they're doing. That's just some information on it, is that they're setting up a little bit of a different system for catching cheaters, to be able to ban them, and then they're also setting up a way for people to be able to appeal if they so wish to. But yeah, they also do say for sure that if you in-game report, it helps them to kind of narrow down cheaters. Because if someone's getting banned by every single person in the lobby, every single game, they can look into that player, but it won't cause them to get banned automatically. It just gives them a bit more evidence and information to go and check on them.
I've lost faith in the report system in games a long, long time ago, but sure.
Bungie is banning a lot of people.
Yeah, there's a lot going on out there. It is a good point, Marco. Like, can they keep up with the problems? It's certainly gotten out of hand recently, and we've seen it in other games. So sounds like you don't believe they can keep up with it. Is that...
I don't really think so. I mean, you have a free-to-play game that's so easy to jump into. There's always going to be the next thing that people can do. There's always going to be another. Yeah, there's no keeping up with that. You're basically fighting the whole internet.
Especially on Steam, right? Because at least on PlayStation and Xbox, you have to buy like Xbox Gold for your new account or whatever.
I also don't think you can cheat on consoles as easily.
It's a lot harder, yeah. But Steam, it's both problems. It's easier to cheat, and also you don't even need to pay anything at all to get.
And also, yeah, exactly. And also another thing, like even if they catch the cheaters, like let's say, cheaters get banned within a couple days. Like, what is to prevent them from just getting a new account and then just doing the same thing over again? Because the game is free. So even if their anti-cheat is working, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're not going to see any more cheaters.
Aren't they doing hardware bans? Or is that not?
Like
I don't
address,
think so.
IP ban stuff. I mean, I would assume they're trying.
IP bans you can get around through VPNs, right?
Yeah, IP bans.
Yeah, I think that's probably why they're setting up finding a better way to do auto cheat detection, just so they can try and get them out of there faster, so they don't need to have a person going through and looking. Of course, they're gonna double check everything, but
I'd love to see GDC's coming up, and I don't know if they're, or DICE even, as an industry event. I'd love to see Bungie, Epic, Respawn, folks like that get together, those teams, and actually have a little powwow and learn from each other, because it just helps everybody.
I feel like a lot of these companies already sort of have the same thing when it comes to anti-cheat.
Yeah,
I feel like
they might have some, but what I was getting at, I'm sure Fortnite, with its money and its amount of staff, has made some pretty good advancements. And I know that it's on Real Engine, and I know it's not Steam, but look, they know they have plenty of games on Steam. But I mean, maybe some of that goes on, but hopefully, they're it's a bigger problem than just trying to sell your game. So if everybody can lift each other up, I think that would be great.
Or there need to be more severe consequences for getting caught. Like an actual a real life fine. Like, let's say to sign up, you have to give your real life information, something like that. Just get actual punishment.
I love this idea. Pope's gonna come to your house. That's what
you have to fill in your basic information. You have to confirm it's you, and when you start playing, that kind of stuff. And then you just if you get caught cheating, then you have to pay a small fine, something like that. Personally, I would. Give him a real good hammer on the fingers, but fine is enough, I guess.
Yeah.
We talking
someone will IRL come ban hammer you.
Or broken
yeah,
bone.
Exactly. It will bring the ban hammer to the house.
The actual ban hammer.
I like this one. I know that Microsoft, if they catch you doing stuff on Xbox, they can hardware ban you. But I don't think Bungie. I think it would have to be Steam, right? Steam would have to find that you have been doing really bad stuff, and maybe they can do something, because I know Microsoft does, and I think Sony does, to do hardware bans.
Got it. So yeah, it's on the.
And then at least you have to buy a new console, and then.
Yeah. I assume on PC you can figure out how to change your MAC address and stuff, or if that's the hardware ID, right? So it must be easier to get around that stuff.
There's ways to get around everything. Really, it's all a game of just trying to make it a little bit harder and harder and harder for people to get back in.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get rid of the people who maybe tried cheating a little bit, and then they're like, okay, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. But you bring up the best point, or you mentioned it, but the idea that we're getting a lot closer to detecting and using AI and stuff, that actually, I think it is ultimately the solution. If it gets good enough and continues to machine learn and all that, it can just start to detect, and it, because there's just obvious things that shouldn't be happening.
Yes.
So unless Shroud hops on, then there's a few
crazy
inhuman
180 headshots. Yeah,
right. There's a few inhuman players, but yeah, I actually do. I don't know if that's a thing, but I have to believe that there's advancements going there. So hopefully it gets better.
It's going to be a lot of years away though before that's going to be a real thing.
Yeah.
But it seems next week at least they'll have a better system to see when people are cheating, and they can get rid of them. So hopefully that helps a little bit. We'll see. I know that it's just always, that's what it is with hackers. You're constantly chasing them to see what they're doing. They're constantly trying to get ahead of what you're fixing, and it's just like that forever.
when they figure out that you've been cheating, instead of banning you, they actually force your character into big head mode. Like old school, like NBA Jam.
Easy crit.
Yeah.
Like he's on fire, and like they slow down your mobility a little bit, like just like some things like that.
And then we could see.
I don't think that would work.
Keep it up.
That would work because they can still teleport around, right?
You cut their health.
Yeah, I know.
You give them like less damage. You make their head super big and make their entire body a crit.
But everybody, it's like the Scarlet Witch approach, or not Scarlet. That's not the word I'm looking.
I know what
yeah,
you're
it
talking
is.
about. Yeah.
Right. Where you get the symbol on you as well, like all the above. Your team will know you're cheating if you want to keep at it. But just as like some brief punishment for you.
You know what they could do also?
For some great video clips.
Dedicated servers. Okay, let's move on.
Wow.
That wouldn't stop hacking.
Shocker that
that's
didn't
not
come
gonna
up
happen.
somehow.
It would.
That's
stop
another thing for Destiny 3.
but not hacking.
I mean, they could have easier. I would imagine having a dedicated server, it allows them to see the data clearer of what potentially could be happening.
I don't think it does. Unfortunately, I don't think it does. It will stop DDoSing though, and getting people's IPs, which is a really big deal, which would be very nice.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next part, because this is also very important. So Bungie is going to be doing something to also help Australia with everything that's going on with the fires right now. So what they are doing is they're creating a t-shirt that you're going to be able to buy from the Bungie store. All of the money is going to go to Wires, which is Australia's largest wildlife rescue organization. And then the other will be donated. So it's going to half to Wires. And then the other half will go to NSW Rural Fire Service, which services the state of New South Wales. So they're going to be splitting it 50-50 between those two organizations. And you're going to also be able to get an in-game emblem. So if you purchase it, you'll get a shirt, you'll get an emblem, and also all your money is going to the efforts to help with the fire. So that's going to be available for pre-order on the Bungie store and the Bungie EU between Thursday, January 16th and Tuesday, February 18th. So that's when you're going to be able to pick up one of those.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And the Destiny community usually comes out massive
Strong.
for stuff like this. So, yeah, you get something
really
out of it. You get an awesome t-shirt. Bungie's t-shirts for these things have always been phenomenal. And you get an emblem. And you're helping out. So try and pick up one of those if you can.
Yep.
What
else other than the exotic quest?
Yeah, besides that, it was just like talking about Worm God. Caress has been disabled.
Right.
Because of the insta-kill Hammett.
Because of Telesto again?
Yeah. The Burning Fist perk could retain increased melee damage after its intended timer countdown, allowing players, like Glad, to easily defeat raid bosses. They had, it was like a third of a second for like Riven and some other stuff, I think. It was
I've seen videos
out
of that.
control.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
No, but I feel like they should have kept it in the game. I mean, that's how strong Titans should be, in my opinion.
I see, yeah. Interesting.
That would have been fair to leave it in like that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, look, I actually don't. I don't think it was too huge of a problem in that, like, it wasn't like a PvP problem, right? Not that I know of, but it was probably good that they disabled it for now, because it just, I don't know, like, I have to imagine just seeing it, like, it makes other things feel underpowered, and then you start using things that it's not intended to play that way, even though it's fun for a while, though. Like, I really like seeing it, actually. Like, it's kind of like, remember when we had the laser tag weekend, you know, they were like, look, we can't, that was at a time when they couldn't as easily put stuff in and out, and like, it was nuts. I didn't like it, but it only lasted for the weekend and whatever moment in time.
Speaking of laser beams, should we talk about that exotic?
Yeah.
And the exotic quest?
Good segue.
Thank you.
So exotic quest time, right?
Oh, yeah, the very exciting exotic quest.
It was a doozy.
That's right. So who wants to recap?
You have to do the sundial, excuse me.
Yeah. So in order to start the quest, you jump into a sundial, and then you get that done, and then you get to purchase the quest, to go over to the Twilight Gap, and then do a little hide and seek, right?
Yeah, you find
so you go to Twilight Gap, you're finding redjacks. Dead redjacks, picking that up. And hearing some really cool lore and conversation among that. But that's it. As soon as you're done with that, you have the exotic. That's it.
Best part of the quest was the dialogue. 100%.
Oh, 100%. It's probably the best dialogue in any quest that we've had. Just because hearing Shax, Osiris, and Saint 14 basically just talk crap to each other.
Spoilers.
Yeah, definitely spoilers if you haven't done it
No
yet.
spoilers of what they're gonna say.
You haven't done it yet, Marco?
Okay.
Yeah.
Even if you know about this, you should definitely listen to it because it's worth hearing it. Hearing it is amazing.
When the quest is over, there's still like 2 minutes worth of dialogue that goes on. So don't leave the quest yet. You'll still be able to hear some good stuff, some good banter. I'm gonna be honest. Before we talk about the exotic, the actual weapon, the quest for me was definitely a letdown because it just felt like it was unfinished. Like they had to ship it that way instead of having another mission. Like that dialogue was awesome, but I would have loved to have been killing enemies. Like imagine if you showed up to Twilight Gap and you had to like clear out some bosses that were fallen oriented or whatever, or let's say you had to go into the time dial, the sundial, and go through those cool white and black hallways again to go to a certain area to grab whatever pieces to forge this new exotic while that dialogue was going on. That would have been really cool. But instead, it was go find 10 dead red jacks, and then the quest was done, which didn't really feel like a quest to me.
Yeah, I mean, look, it is super short, and it does feel like they're pretty rushed. I've brought this up a lot. Like, look, we got the warning that last year, that from Last Wish and the launch of Forsaken through, Menagerie, Crown Star, all that, the team was pushed pretty hard, harder than they had thought it was gonna be. And I think reading between the lines, like it was more stressful. And Bungie's been very talkative about not wanting to. Frankly, it's very normal for game development, right? It's known that there's grind, but all companies are trying to get a lot better and more realistic at it. Like at some point, you can't be like, "What?" It's like you're in game development. It's a 70-hour week, big deal. It's like what? It's anything that you have to do that long, like wears on you. So meaning,
I am a little bit worried though about the future seasons now that I've seen this season and the previous one. I'm thinking. Because of the split with Activision, they obviously also have less people working on the game now, and to see a season come out like this, I think this season had not a lot of stuff to do. If it wasn't for Dawning, I think if it wasn't for the season pass, I think I wouldn't have been playing this season that much anymore. Pretty much, and I think that goes for a lot of people that they just want to get season pass done, and that's why they're really playing. Maybe a couple weapons from the sundial, but other than that, I don't know. Like, is the next season gonna be the same as this? Like, are we gonna get?
Yeah.
Are we gonna
that
get? That has
been the big question.
Yeah.
Or are we gonna get another season like the Moon DLC? Are we gonna get something like that? Like which way is it gonna go? But I feel like if the seasons are gonna be like this and never any bigger, then that could be a problem. I feel because that's gonna. I don't know. That's going to drive people away from the game.
I think historically, this particular spot right after the big launch of the September launch window, which I know it was October this year, but right after that, and the holidays, honestly, in this industry period, you do kind of get sand. You're between a rock and a hard place. So I do think we'll continue to see this season. We saw it with Scourge, the Black Armory DLC last year. The actual. Other than the raid, which I believe, they probably, like we saw, they had multiple companies working on raids at the time, too, to your point. But yeah, other than that, there wasn't a lot to do. And we were like, oh, this is it, And
maybe
I think this season.
Because I came in when Forsaken, and that was Forsaken. And then
huge.
Right when I was done pretty much with all the stuff, then a new DLC came out, which was also a pretty big DLC. So I guess it's the first time ever that I'm in Destiny, wow. I've done everything there is to do pretty much.
It's pretty normal is what I was going to get at. Whether or not we like it or is it going to keep happening year on year, I don't know, because you came in saying how they just split from Activision, and that's the question I've had. Are they still kind of settling the teams? Plus they've got next gen on top of it to worry about. They added Stadia to their plate, but they lost Vicarious Visions and Moon.
Yeah, and that was also the team working on raids, right?
Yeah, some of them.
Yeah.
Exactly. So They lost some, and so we're in. That's what I keep asking. What is next season going to look like? Will be very telling, I think, for kind of like.
I think it'll be very interesting. Yeah, because we've had like multiple menagerie style stuff, and I don't think they can keep doing that for every single season, right? Where they give us a mini menagerie thing. So I
feel
think
like
next
removing those might have been a mistake. I feel like if there was a playlist where they just put all those things, like the sundial, like with the menagerie, then you have, I don't know, a little more content to the game, I guess. There's no reason to take it away.
Unfortunately, there's not enough space on consoles to patch in stuff. Like there's a certain point where they just won't let you send that much through a patch on console. So I think that's why they're having to lean into deleting stuff.
So,
which sucks. I agree. I think it would be better to have it in.
I think at a certain point it might be a little too fatiguing with that many activities. So I don't really mind that they're deleting or removing certain activities from the events. What's happening? It always comes down to a reward scenario, because Destiny has never lacked activities. There's a crap load of activities in the game. There's always a crap load of activities to do. But it comes down to rewards. Like all the power drops right now are basically useless once you hit the pinnacles, because they're not going to give you Ascendant shards. They're not going to give you high rolled armor. There's just things in there that you don't care about once you've hit the peak for your power drops. So it really comes down to a reward system that gives you incentive to go do all those activities. So them removing the sundial and removing Vex Offensive, what it was called, like I could care less about that stuff. And I honestly fully expect one of those to come with the next season, but it comes down to rewards. Like what type of rewards?
Don't you feel like development time would be better spent on making bigger activities that are then to stay permanently in the game than to have them create smaller, less meaningful activities over and over only to be deleted like 3 months after?
So I think what's going on is they have a team that's working on the big stuff, like the next expansion or whatever the future of big Destiny is, being D3 or Destiny 2 Evolved. And this stuff is, this is to get us by, because something that you didn't experience was the drought from the Taken King. And that was like a 10 to 9 month just wasteland of Iron Banner. And it was like, here's Iron Banner. Okay, Trials again. Here's Iron Banner. Here's Trials. Here's Iron Banner. It's like, whew, what a time to be a Destiny player.
And that was with them doing big DLCs, because they were initially following that model of here's like a big story, here's a raid, here's all this new stuff, new activities, new planets. And then they moved to this because with that, they just had giant content droughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I haven't been there to experience the other thing in the first place.
What we have right now, like I get it that this exotic mission was a letdown, because it was a letdown for me as a Destiny player. Like I was like, okay, this feels underbaked, and they could have just dropped this exotic out in the wild instead. So I get that, but there's still something to do. Like you can still log in and chase a particular role from Sundial right now, or if you haven't played in a couple weeks, suddenly there's an exotic that you can go and get in 15 minutes to start using again. So I think the grass is definitely greener on this side right now, is with them having no releases and a bigger release that they're focusing on, because they're already doing that. Obviously, of course, they're making another, whether it's Shadowkeep or something else that's next. They're not just focusing on these seasons and then that's it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a reset period, though. It's come up. I think I've actually tried to bring it up because I'm curious to see everybody's opinion. But every show, like, what do we think these seasons mean? It's like, what does it mean? Because everything's been reset. We went to Steam. We went cross save. We had all this stuff that changed, and this is really only the first season, because Shadowkeep wasn't. I know it had a season to it, but like, let's face it, that was a big release. So this is really the first season that gave us a glimpse of how they take away a few things, add a few things. And then we come out and there's like a 30-minute exotic quest. I think that hasn't happened before, and that's why people are like, wait, they're getting worried. So Bastion is coming up soon.
The other exotic.
Yeah, the fusion exotic. So hopefully.
But I mean, would you want that? What would you want that to be though? Like get 20 fusion rifle kills. Like do this or that. Like all that.
No, I hope it is.
I hope it's another Whisper of the Worm, but that's like. Probably not going to happen, right? No, I do want that.
Oh.
I do want that. Yeah, I want another Whisper of the Worm, for example. But I feel like that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think it'll be a bit longer. But when they dropped, the Red Jacks into an old Crucible map, I was like, oof, they're busy. I mentioned this on the Dawning too. I was like, the what's the Festival of the Lost the tower was really cool, but then when I saw the Dawning, I was like, I don't know, it didn't get the same amount of treatment,
Not as much polish.
as yeah, it's still great. I think the tower looks cool, but I was like, wait, they totally spent a lot of time. I think they hit that point and they're like, this release, this is the team size, this is how fast we're moving. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. I think that's actually, I didn't say it clearly, they need to figure this out. I think this particular season, even though we've had a couple raids drop, that has been the best solution when we're like, okay, not a ton to do. I didn't really like the missions in Black Armory personally. I didn't like the setup for forging weapons, although I liked forging weapons. But then I was like, hey, getting the raid, some new weapons, that was actually not a bad amount of content. But now we come back and we're like, this just doesn't exist, And I'm not saying they have to have a raid every time, but we got to figure out as like Destiny players, what can we expect? I don't know what to expect still. Hopefully we get Trials next season. Hopefully we get new Crucible maps, and hopefully we get.
You think that's going to happen, Trials?
I really do. I think next season is Trials and another Menagerie style event type of thing, along with a few exotic quests sprinkled in.
I hope they put an exotic in Trials.
That'd be cool.
Because before they've been like, can't do it. People are like, you want me to play a PvP game? How dare you, Bungie? Unbelievable. So they've kind of stayed away.
That was always the same thing in the Division as well. Whenever something was, even if you could get it in PvE as well, if it was faster to get in the Dark Zone, people would riot. I never really understood that because it's like a PvE and a PvP game, right? Yeah. And even the people that play it mostly for PvP, which I think there's still a lot of people in Destiny that do that. I mean, they have to basically grind PvE just to be able to play some normal PvP, right? Mm-hmm. So what would be so bad about if some things are the other way around?
I would like something to be added to Trials to be fun.
I mean, if we just get Trials period and the sandbox get some changes, that's a step forward. But from a seasonal content release, I feel like we need like at least like another map, and not an old one ideally
for PvP.
Yeah, just period. But also, wouldn't it be cool if Trials was actually sort of more in the image of what we've all been dreaming about, which is like exclusive weapons and like just more of a mode that stands on its own versus like
Trials is that you have to get 7 wins in a row, right? And then you get like a special reward. Because I never played that.
Yeah.
If you buy these things called boons, you have to get to is it
9
10
wins.
or 9? 9. So you need 9 wins, but you can earn a couple along
this
the
is
way.
OG Trials.
Boons and
Trials
that's
OG.
OG.
Yeah.
I think we've always said, right, with Trials, for it to come back and be successful is for them to hit that sweet spot of you being able to get something very, very cool by playing hardcore, going flawless every week and grinding for that. But you also need to make it to where people who maybe don't play much PvP can hop in and just work towards something. It shouldn't be the same thing as getting flawless. That's why I think D1 was great, right? Because you had the adept weapons, which were they were special weapons that had an extra perk on them. They also looked different. There were also ornaments. But you could still get like a couple wins and do bounties and at least experience some of the Trials gears.
Yeah. And didn't they add that actually after it launched?
It was the Trials bounties that were added,
like,
and you'd get to...
Oh, wait. It didn't have to be 7 wins in a row? Just 7 wins? Or what?
So the card, the card would give 9 wins and 2 losses to kill the card completely. And then you'd buy these boons, which would automatically like... It'd give you a win to start with, and then your first win gives you like 2 wins on the card or something like that, right?
Yeah. So if you had enough of the currency to buy the boons for your pass to the lighthouse to get loot, you just had to go 7 wins in a row. But you also were allowed to lose 1.
There was a.
So you could do like win 6 and then lose 1 and then win another one. But yeah, you had to get 7.
Because inevitably you'd go up somebody who's like lagging they're on Mars and their connection is just incredible, and so you'd run into at least one of those teams.
Yeah, but it is a little confused because technically it was like getting to 9 on the card, I believe, right? And then you always bought the boons. Like you always had the currency for the most part. It wasn't too hard if you were playing the game. And so everybody, as long as you remember to use your boons, that was the worst
you did
part.
have to go in the card and apply them.
You'd be grinding and dude, I'd be that guy.
Every time.
Every time you restarted the
That's
card.
really annoying about Reckoning too. Every time you have to like put in the thing, I gotta go back into inventory.
Right. At least round. This one you could do like in your menus, but yeah, I was always that guy. We were like flying in. I was like, guys, I kind of forgot to use my boons. and then I called it the warm-up round. I was like, this is just a warm-up round anyway. Even though we had already been playing for like 4 hours. Like, it's fine, it's the warm-up round.
Sometimes you just need a long time to warm up. It happens.
Yep. Yeah. But man, I really hope we get Trials. It is coming up on the 5th anniversary. I think it's a little far out. I've been saying I thought it would launch around that time, but it's a little
5th
far
anniversary
out.
would technically be May.
Is it May? Yeah, it's like
and this new season is
a bit far out of
March.
Yeah. So yeah, to make us wait those 2 months, but it falls within this season. So
it falls within the season.
My prediction, I'm still gonna say, if we get it, I was fairly right.
It's gonna be next season.
I think it is.
As soon as they brought out Crafty, I was like, yep.
Yeah.
You don't need to tell me anything else.
Yeah.
I don't need to know anything else.
Ton of PvP players, and especially Crafty, who said he would never really play again unless they brought Trials back, suddenly showed up at Bungie to test some new content. So,
that's a big tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, we're building a lighthouse in the tower. Basically, is that what's going on?
Yeah, what?
I mean, well, we've got the obelisk thing, right? But
isn't
there in the lore? He talks about building the light. What did he say? Remember
when
we finished his quest? No, he says we're building a. I'm not even a lore guy. Somebody will help me out in chat. He basically said He basically said we need to build like a beacon for all guardians to see. Sort of like. The wording was sort of like...
The wording was like, we're building a lighthouse for everyone to see. Yeah. And then also they've said other stuff where like Osiris was saying, I'm always watching you. And I'm like, oh, really? Interesting.
All I know is that there's a Titan in the tower now with the wrong mask on.
But it's his mask.
That's all I know lore-wise.
Yeah, it's got to have that third eye. Yeah.
See, that's a OG Destiny 1 mask. Yeah, that was a helmet from D1 they'd use.
Wait, what is he wearing?
Saint 14.
I didn't even...
Helmet Saint 14.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, of course.
That was a legendary experience to get that in D1 and then be rocking one of the most legendary Titans helmets ever and then getting to meet him in D2. Whew.
How does he see though? Because there's no eye things in it, right? There's just a laser line.
Everybody has VR technology in the future.
Yeah.
Augmented VR technology. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense for the shit I've been seeing in Destiny.
Is it time for some questions? Oh, you know what we didn't talk about? The actual gun, the exotic.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
I really like it.
Yeah.
I really, really like it. I like it a lot. So it's something that I wasn't doing initially that I realized pretty quickly. But like for my first game in the Crucible, I wasn't doing it. So the cool thing about it is you can shoot it like a regular sidearm and you can kill someone with that. And then you don't need to reload. You can just use the charge for the laser.
Right, which is super powerful.
To take out the next person. You just need one bullet. If you have one bullet in that gun, you can go right into using the laser beam. Should probably explain what it does before I talk about how much I like it. So the gun, what it does is, again, it allows you to shoot like a sidearm. Regular sidearm does the same things all sidearms, but you can hold it down and then it shoots kind of like a fusion rifle and shoots a mini 1,000 voice line at people. Yes. 2 voices, 12 voices.
Yeah, but it doesn't bend. It's more like Prometheus lens and all that, right? Like it doesn't.
Yeah, it's like a fusion. It's like a fusion Prometheus lens.
Yeah, it's more. It's more like those. Meaning, because I do get the joke of like 100 voices or 1,000 voices, like kind of, but it doesn't bend at all, right? It's just a straight shot laser, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And stick to people.
And then it allows you to have not a full have it fully reloaded to be able to use the laser. It pulls it from reserves to use in the laser shot. So I've been really enjoying it because you can go into, say you're going into 2 people in the Crucible, you can kill one with just the regular sidearm, and then you can charge up the shot for the laser beam for the other one. Been using it with Dragon Shadow, so you can reload very quickly.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
And then you just do the same thing again.
Favorite.
I've really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. It's a funny gun. I remember just running around being like, this gun's stupid. Like it.
Marco, did you get it?
Yeah, I think it's
I don't
cool.
have it yet.
Oh, you don't have it?
I don't have it yet.
Too much.
No, Exotic Quest is too long.
much time
Too much for me
investment.
to,
Yeah, it's too different.
Don't have the time for it.
Couldn't find that last
Haven't
red
gotten
jacket.
around to it yet. Yeah.
Yeah, it will only take you about 30 for most people.
Less than.
It's really short. Yeah. Whatever. Those
It came
red
out like a
jacks,
couple days
you
ago,
know?
right? I don't think I've been on since.
It was
that
on
time.
Tuesday.
Yeah, it just launched, so you're not far off.
I saw Briar playing. I think he was trying to get the exotic.
Wow, that'd be like his
So maybe
first
you
exotic.
talk
about it. He was
quest
on
in, like,
Stadia.
years, right?
He might have been.
He probably was.
He actually might have been.
Dude, actually, that quest is perfect for Stadia, you know, especially if you have the Pixel phone, man. It's a quick 30 before bed. Boom, done.
Yeah, what'd you think, Fran?
Perfect.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it. I didn't use the gun a ton. I used it a little bit, so reserve some thoughts on it when I get some like time with it in. But used it a little bit, and I was like, it's cool. It's a fun idea for the weapon. So as long as it doesn't break things entirely. I heard a little bit, of like laser tag problems in PvP, but I'm sure it was just people trying it out for the first time.
And I'm a sidearm connoisseur, so my experience, I don't know when this happened. I keep saying I don't like that this is the case. Apparently, me having Dreg's Promise as my main gun, and then Rat King, I didn't realize that this was my life, but it is.
Wow, yeah.
So I have to now accept it.
Oh wow, yeah.
I'm a sidearm meme apparently, and I hate it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My sidearms are good this season, so.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is, other than like charging up fusions and some other stuff, but that's like their primary function, right? I'm trying to think, are there any weapons where we use charge to change the function of the gun? That being said, it's very rare or non-existent otherwise. And I was like, oh, this is another cool route that reminds me of how clever and interesting, the gun design can be. We have holding reload to change things like affinities, and we have holding reload to change like how your fire type is. But this one was interesting where it literally like the gun starts to transform and it charges up and does something that is not a sidearm shot.
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool. Yeah. And it gives me, I was like, oh man, like if I was a gun designer, I'd be like, oh, they must have had this in their pocket for a while.
You think?
Pocket, get it, sidearm. Anyway, they must have had it in their pocket for a while. And I feel like they've got some really cool ideas with this. So I'm excited just based on that.
Yeah, I think the gun's a really cool concept. I liked it too. It was fun. I'm not a sidearm person, so it's not really something that I'm going to default to using a lot in my standard loadouts.
You're not going to be a warlock sidearm from now on?
Use it with Dragon Shadow.
I could definitely see Dragon Shadow working nice.
You'll have a good time.
So good.
Now we just need a pulse rifle where if you charge it up, it's a shotgun.
Yeah. Break off the
Turns
barrel.
into an Acreus shot. I like that.
Yeah, that would actually be that.
A shotgun with primary ammo. I would want nothing more for the game.
Universal remote?
Marco doesn't know about Universal
right?
remote. Universal remote.
Did anybody tell you about Universal
Destiny
remote?
1.
Are you talking about those things that you use to control your neighbor's TV?
Yeah, let's just say we're talking about those.
That's true.
All right.
That's what it is.
Because I had those when I was a kid, and I would like go into like people's windows and just change the channels every time they wanted to watch TV.
All right.
You actually did this? Wow.
You're actually toxic.
Quick throwback.
I mean, I was 10.
Nice.
But I would still do it today.
Born in the toxicity.
Quick throwback to D1. My first exotic that I ever got was the Universal remote. And it was in the Vogue chest that you get in the halfway through. And I was like, oh, it's a primary shotgun. This is crazy. And at the time, I was like, it's even said when you ADS, it like gets scout rifle range or something. It said something along those lines of the perk. It was like, it becomes like a scout rifle when you ADS. I was like, whoa. So the ADS, and it was not that at all. It was a regular shotgun, which confused me big time. But yeah, that was a thing. I initially wrote it off and turned out to be quite a problem in Destiny 1's Crucible balancing.
It did.
Yeah.
It ended up being pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
People initially were like, this is awful. And then eventually it was like, oh, this is actually pretty good.
In a PvE sense,
I have fond memories of that.
PvE sense, it wasn't that great because it was just a not so good shotgun that used your primary ammo. But in PvP, once
well, you could start mapping people, right? Was the thing. It just really enhanced your range like quite a bit. So, and that it was primary that you could run, just have tons of ammo, but also because that's right, it was just primary ammo, right?
Like No Land Beyond.
Yeah.
So you just had tons of shotgun ammo, then you're mapping them.
Yeah.
So
be that person.
Those were the days, man. That double stickies.
People
loved it.
Do double shotties. It was wild.
Double shotties, double stickies.
Wild back then.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah, it was a wild time indeed.
We got questions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we doing the thing? Because normally Briar does Twitter questions. So if Briar's not here, it's normally terrible, but we do okay. We're getting better at it.
We're all right.
So
good reminder to pull up the thread.
So we can just pull up the thread and then we can just pick stuff between us.
Yeah.
If that works. Okay. I guess I could start with.
If you have something, that'd be great.
I got something.
Sure. Tefty.
Okay. Polar Bear says, "What did Sleepy do to warrant the level of bullying he receives for our entertainment?"
Bullying? I don't think I bully Sleepy that much. That's just how
apparently
we
Polar
are.
Bear says you are. So.
No, we're. I guess we all come from the Vision. No, this is basically how we are. This is he's okay with it, I'm okay with it. Everybody's fine with it. It's just I don't think he gets bullied that much. That's a weird way of looking at it. One I do not agree with.
So you're bullying him. Got him. Okay.
No.
To an outside person who's not toxic, it might look like bullying, but to toxic people,
my
this
parents,
is friendly.
My parents taught me to never pick on the little kids, and Sleepy's not little. He's a big fella. Okay, so don't worry about it.
Okay. Did you go over to his house and change his TV channels and stuff?
Yeah. Did you use
No. I would never do. Again, I'm the most Christian Destiny player there is.
We've established that.
Yeah. I would never be toxic.
Okay.
Never. Watts, you got one?
You was begging to finish your super. Look, I'm not gonna play bottom three. I did the whole community a favor there.
Wow.
Okay.
I like it.
This question is from Drowsy Tone. Not to do with Destiny at all. I apologize. Could you stay with a millionaire sugar baby / daddy? Let's say sugar daddy for you guys. This makes it more fun for me. Okay. Knowing that you would get their will after 10 years of spending your life with them. 10 years, you get all their money.
How much money?
Depends how hot
sugar daddy.
Depends how hot he is.
I think it usually means they're really old. If you like old guys.
Are you into soup?
That doesn't have to.
Is there a word for when they're older than daddy?
That's a loophole. Because it doesn't say dying from old age. It says just 10 years. You get their money from their will.
Just in 10 years.
Okay.
It depends on how much money,
It's got to be a number.
That's the big question.
I was thinking of infinite
That's a
money,
number.
basically.
Yeah, like a lot of money.
Yeah, just like everything, like 100 million.
Yeah. Plus, if they have a pool and wear Speedos and stuff, there's a lot of factors I would have
It
questions.
also depends what I would be doing those 10 years. Like, how does he live his life? What can I do on a daily basis? Is there just parties every day?
It's probably
daddy
many
parties.
Because
sexual.
I'm not gay, but 100 million is 100 million. All right.
Yeah.
Right.
10 years. I mean,
yes.
10 years is
That's a decade. A lot can happen in a decade.
Yeah.
But then 11 years is a decade.
100 million by 40, 50 years. All right.
So the answer is yes. Got it.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
As long as it's
That's
big.
great.
Watch me get
Number.
some.
As long as
on
it's
Discord
big,
right now.
Fran.
Yeah.
Calm yourself down.
Big number.
Big number.
Slaybay is asking for Slaybay, Miss Revoker Not Forgotten. For everyone, what did you want to be when you grew up, or what was your dream job as a kid?
I actually mentioned this in one of my YouTube videos once, but when I was up until I was 16, 17 years old, my dream was to live off welfare and not have a job, basically.
Wow.
And that's not a joke. I didn't want to work.
Do you have this concept of welfare?
Yeah, because I was watching my dad go to work, and I was like, I don't want to get up early every day. That's not for me. And I guess it always kind of stuck with me.
Wow, that's amazing. Going to school and being like, yeah, welfare's looking pretty good. Not having to have a job.
11-year-old be like, yeah, I think.
That's yeah.
I
mean, I never went to school for more than 2 weeks in a row because I don't know. I just couldn't do it. It was just I'm just not made for it. You know, it's not for me.
You're not made for it.
No,
that's great.
Okay. I don't know that I had a clear answer. What is interesting, though, I always tell this story, is that if you ever have seen The Far Side, like old comics,
I remember that.
my dad had on the fridge. It's funny, I had somewhere on my Twitter, but on the fridge it was like the comic, but within that was a posting that somebody had on their fridge. But long story short, it was like ads for jobs, but it was all in the world of video games. And one of them was like, save the princess $100,000 a year, full benefits and all this stuff. I grew up with it on the fridge, and it was like a big joke. And then like I ended up getting a career in video games. So I always kind of like was like, yeah, like I totally kind of got back from him. He's a scientist, has a PhD and all this stuff, by the way. So I think had probably some higher expectations originally. But yeah, I never thought that I'd end up in the industry. On the other side, once I started to think about it, you know, I grew up in a town where everybody was sort of like a lawyer, a doctor, a scientist or whatever. I didn't think too much beyond that. I had two, though. The sort of obvious one was I did want to be a doctor, actually. I've just seen a lot of bad doctors, and I was passionate and really considered it briefly, but like I just want to be like a good doctor that someone goes to and like listens and, you know, like fixes things instead of like, why is it? I swear every doctor is just like busy and terrible.
No, that's not my experience at all.
Well, you come to America.
America's different. Healthcare is very different in America.
It's a business. It's not really.
It is
healthcare.
a business. Yeah.
I could see a very empathetic Fran doctor. If you had chosen a different,
I'd be a great doctor.
Yeah, I think you would.
Fran will be freaking out. He had to imagine Fran's doctor has to tell you some bad news about your health. Fran's gonna be like, "Oh dear God, oh God, guys, I don't know. I don't want to tell you this." And the patient's freaking out. Fran won't say it because he's freaking out. He's being Fran freakouts.
Okay, I like the meme, but that'd be very different. It's not a podcast when I'm dealing with somebody's life. Okay, but other than that, actually,
podcast is way more serious. We gotta get some Fran freakouts.
That's right. But I actually always wanted to be a guitarist. Actually, I started playing when I was young, and that's the one that always I think about a lot.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I know it's a lot of answers, but. What are you guys?
So
anytime I talk about it, people make fun.
Let's hear
it. When I was a kid, I wanted to be an assassin.
Okay. I mean, that is a career.
Again, it goes to the dream thing. It goes to the dream thing and just goes down a road of bad things.
I heard that pays well.
Pays
well. Pays well.
I wanted
a good job.
I just grew up playing like a lot of games that had assassins in it, and I was like, this is really cool. And then my mom informed me of what assassins do and how it's probably not a career path that I can just go and do.
I don't
know how to find.
It depends how much talent you have for it.
Where do you start?
I could go on Reddit. It's probably on Reddit somewhere.
School of Assassins on Reddit.
Yeah, Reddit School of Assassins. It's there somewhere.
Did you play Hitman, by the way?
I did, but I played like a lot of ninja games. That which is way more exciting, right? Because you're sneaking around in places, and I don't know. It just sounded fun. And then for a brief second, I did want to be a part of the Resident Evil. But then I was like, then Nemesis came out, and I was like, maybe I don't want to be chased by a Nemesis guy. Anyway.
Wait, you wanted to what in Resident Evil as a job?
I wanted to be a member of STARS.
Like a zombie killing police force sergeant or something.
Yes. But then my mom was like, that doesn't sound very fun.
It's not as fun as assassinating. She really steers you towards
Tenchu was what did it for me.
Okay.
I just wanted to be but then when I got out of that phase, I wanted to be a vet. So
that
but then after that, I was actually going to school to be a criminal psychologist. Maybe
take a good hard look at yourself.
Yeah. Maybe because I started out wanting to be an assassin, so I was like, oh.
Maybe this whole time, Watts actually is a trained assassin, and this is her cover job.
Yeah, something's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
That's possible.
Yeah. This is a cover up right here for a real job of being an assassin.
I like that.
Good thing I live in the Netherlands.
Right?
Assassins are world renowned. They travel everywhere.
Worldwide. Depends how popular I am.
I don't know. Anyway. How well can you swim?
Very well, actually. I was on swim team in school.
Yeah, you're an assassin.
I'm not a fan of sharks, though. So
yeah, we don't have those here.
That's great.
The most dangerous thing you're going to find in the waters here is an angry fisher, so I wouldn't worry too much about sharks.
It's very cold water. About theft.
So when I wanted to be a barber when I was a kid, basically I always wanted to get into computer graphics and do like 3D stuff was relatively new back when I was a kid. So I thought that stuff was amazing. And I basically wanted to be an artist up until I picked up a guitar, which was about 16. I picked up a guitar. And then so my artistic focus shifted from being in the arts strictly with like visual stuff, whether it be 3D animation or 3D graphics. It was mostly 3D stuff, but also I really liked drawing and all that. And then it switched to music, and then music consumed my life, and I went in being a music producer, and then I got sick of that and became a streamer, and now I'm back to making music
your dream,
again.
Actually.
So
sounds like a good life.
Yeah.
Just being creative.
Assassin.
Actually, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a porn star. That's what it was.
It's cool, man. Yeah. We all trapped to that.
Tefty was there with his stash being like, oh, this might be a career.
I have a beard already.
Back then.
Maybe I should.
I can relate with the whole music thing. I mean, I played Guitar Hero back in the day a little bit. So
yeah.
That actually got a lot of people, for real, right? Wanting to get into music, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how Post Malone started as well, right? You guys don't know.
Wait, is that some kind of like internet meme?
What? No, I think that's actually true.
That's
Post Malone got into music.
That's what
true. Guitar Hero.
I just wanted you to know, I've had some European friends, and I know that I'm like being cliche here, but like their sarcasm can be pretty thick sometimes. So those from the Netherlands as well. I literally thought you were just being super sarcastic the way that you said it. But you're being serious. That blew my mind.
Or am I?
I honestly, that's how good they are
out.
at it. I'm Googling it. That's how good you are at it otherwise. So good. All right, next question, right?
Oh, I haven't been looking.
I think I have one actually.
Great job.
Okay, good.
Let me see. Hold on. It's somewhere.
Wait, I mean, I have our. I'm gonna save this.
Okay, I've got a question from Samuel.
It is true.
Some Samuel one at Samuel one says, and this is for Marco. Which things from Division do you wish were in Destiny?
Oh, a lot of things actually. For instance, loadouts would be really nice, so I can have different builds without swapping all my weapons and gear all the time and all my mods. So I can just. Also, I mean, there's a lot of quality of life things that Division has that Destiny does not have. It's kind of hard to think of them at the top of my head, but if I would like start up the Division, I would definitely know.
Loadouts
that's
one of the
missing.
big ones for sure.
Yeah, loadouts. I guess builds indeed, because I feel like Destiny doesn't really have too much. There's a couple things you can do with gear, but it's not even nearly as extensive as with the Division. But yeah, just a lot of quality of life things. For example, from the Division, you can pick up all the bounties from the map. Like I said earlier, like why do I have to travel to the Traveler or to the tower to pick up my bounties? Why can't I just do it from the menu?
You don't want to give Saint 14 a slap on the ass and get some bounties from him?
Not as long as he's wearing that stupid mask or the helmet.
Maybe get an attaboy from Banshee.
No. I think I'm good. Or if I just want to turn in some, like for example, the cakes that you're baking now with the event. Why do I have to travel to every planet just to give it? Why can't I just not click on the map, give presents?
You have to go with. Yeah, you have to go and personally give it to them. Give them a gift.
We are fighting, like we're traveling through space, we're teleporting around. We can't send a package with a pigeon or something to another planet, like space pigeons. I don't know.
It's like steampunk futuristic sci-fi stuff. It's like they got all these cool sci-fi things, but they don't have basic things like a cell phone. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good lore explanation. I think Bife would be proud of you right there.
Yeah, definitely.
No, just a lot of quality of life stuff, basically. It's what I'm missing from Destiny 2. Also, the menus are horrible.
What do you think?
It takes forever to load and stuff. I don't know why.
What do you think about 500 spaces?
Like if I want to press the map, I want the map there to be instantly, not a 2-second black screen.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
or a 1-minute black screen for console players.
Console Omega Low.
Pretty rough on console for those menus.
The menus are pretty rough. Yeah.
What do you think of 500 spaces in the vault?
Oh, that's enough for me.
Oh, really?
But I'm not like a super hardcore player. Yeah.
Wow.
It's enough.
I'm
not a hoarder.
I feel like you're not
basically
sentimental.
if it's not a god role, I'll just delete it.
I wish I was you. I do. I have the same problem in Division, man. Like I'm like, there's no space for anything. That I'm constantly logging in, just like, ugh, I got to go through all this stuff. But Division is that type of game. You spend
Division also has that issue. Like especially at launch, Division 2 was just like the menus were not great for the game itself. They fixed some of it now because I went back like a couple of weeks ago just to check it out, I guess. But they changed some of it, but it's still a mess to figure out.
Yeah.
Destiny is much less in that case. Like that's something that Destiny does better, I guess, simply because the game is more simple, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not as spreadsheety with all those stats.
Yeah.
I think that's the big change. Like where I'm looking for a shotgun with certain perk plus other stat, level stuff on it. We don't have that in Destiny. Like you just get a gun. And
exactly. You get the gun. Every exotic is always the same. Whereas in a Division, you can have like a one with low damage, one with high damage, and you can still have like different things on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you have to like grind out specific exotics. In that case, or specific pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Someone got a question? Next question.
Since he was in chat tonight, the fast one from Glad maybe was. I don't know if it's just for you, Marco, or all of us, but when are you going to start doing? Probably for you, Marco. When are you going to start doing the Destiny low man challenges?
So I'm actually going to get into that probably next weekend with sleeping.
Oh, nice.
I've just been super busy editing my current videos. That's the thing. I'm still looking like for editors to I don't know, kind of expand my channel, but it's been really hard to find editors that edit in the same style. So I haven't really been able to, hire anyone consistently yet. And I always come back to just making the video myself instead. And it's just taking a lot of time. But I'll get into that very, very soon. Because basically all I have left now is the Halo video I got to edit. And I'm going to try to let someone else do that as well, at least a part of it. Which means I'll have a lot more time to do challenges starting next weekend. Not upcoming, but the one after that.
There was a question. Someone was asking like what software and all that you use. I can't find the question. I was going to call it the name, so I apologize. Whoever asked that question.
I might be able to
do you have it?
Find it. I saw it very. Oh yeah, here it's by EDM Nath.
What software are you use?
I said the D2 videos are so entertaining. Good job. What programs do you use to edit your videos, and how did you learn to edit your videos?
So I think I use the software that pretty much everybody uses, Premiere Pro with After Effects. I think a lot of people use that for video editing.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I'm basically self-taught, just videos on the internet, and then I don't know. You post a video and you look at it and it's shit, and then the next video you're like, oh, I could do this and this better, and then you post it again, and then it's shit again, and you just do that until it's decent, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you get better. There's really no other way. You just got to do it to get better, I guess.
That's it.
Did you start?
Even if I look at my first Destiny videos that I posted just 6 months ago, they were not very well edited. But back then I thought they were. just means you can every time you upload, it's going to be a better video, right?
Mm-hmm. And you got to set realistic, like how much time you're going to spend on it, and because that's a big factor. Like, of course, you can edit a video in an hour, or you can take a week.
No, that's with some videos, but with that's the good thing about YouTube. You can just take the time, as much time as you want. And I feel like that, especially with those longer videos, you learn a lot more making those. So it sometimes is worth it to just spend so much time on it, so that you learn a lot more, and then your next videos will also be better.
So for people to have a frame of reference, what is a lot of time for you on a video?
So on the comp video that I uploaded yesterday, I think I spent about 150 to 200 hours editing that. It was a good month. Wow. But some of the videos on Destiny, some of the earlier ones, I mean, they have definitely been edited in a short amount of time, about 30 to 40 to 50 hours.
Wow. So you're looking at averaging a week or so for editing time?
Well, yeah, a bit longer. Yeah.
So basically, on a content schedule, how do you keep track of like are you recording or making a lot of type of videos all at once, or you always just focus on one until it's done and then you start the next one? Like, how do you?
It's a little bit of both. I usually have 1, 2, or 3 projects or things that I'll do. Like, for example, now I played through the Halo campaign with Glad, Sleepy, and one of my other friends, and I've had that video sitting there for a while now. And before that video is done, I am going to do the low man challenges, and I'll edit them both at some point. But usually for editing, I'll focus on one and then completely finish that, because to create videos that long that take that much time, you really need to be in it. You need to
be in the zone.
Wake up. You need to wake up. You need to start editing, and then you go to bed. And basically, when you wake up, you still need to have the same thought that you had as when you went to bed the day before. So it's basically you have to grind it out. And if you keep switching projects and do other stuff in between, you're gonna sort of forget what you did, or you're gonna forget what you wanted to do for the video, or you're gonna have one video it's not gonna flow as well. So that's
or you got to watch a 50-minute edit again to refresh your memory, and you're like, okay,
that's true.
Yeah, well, usually when I do wake up, I usually watch the last 30 seconds of what I edited, and then I usually know, oh yeah, this is what I was doing, this is what I wanted to do with this, and then it's usually very easy. But if I have a couple weeks in between before I continue, I barely even remember what I was working on at that point.
True. Yeah. Interesting.
That's great that you spend that much time. Actually, I think. I haven't had a chance to check all that stuff out, but I like hearing that. I think there's a lot of pressure on YouTube to get stuff up quickly, and so absolutely, that is a strategy that works for some folks. Being there with the news and if you just have the personality style, but
it is definitely YouTube meta. It is by far how you grow the fastest, how you get the most views, and also how you make the most money. But it's what I've been doing for a long time with the Division, but I know I'm just tired of it. I don't want to do that kind of stuff anymore. I want to do something that challenges me, something that I can actually spend time on to make, I guess, a bit better.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I love hearing that you can be more artful with it, versus being news driven, which is great too. So
the thing with news, what I didn't like is that it was always so stressful to try and be the first one on the channel or the first one on YouTube to have the news video out. And it just never ends, because suddenly there's this, I don't want to make a video right now because I'm just relaxing. No, you have to make that news video now, because if you post it tomorrow, nobody's going to watch it anymore, I hated that so much, because I always want to spend time on my videos, but then you have to cut so many corners to be the first one. And I don't know.
When I was doing,
it's stressful in its own way.
When I was doing stuff for Plant Destiny, that was the thing that I didn't like. Was God, it's time to go. It's 7:00 at night, but we have to make this video right now. Yeah, like that. That would that burnt me out on the YouTube grind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely been there.
Yep. Anybody got a question? Next one.
Yeah. We should probably only do a few more, right? Since it's so late over there.
Yeah, probably wrap up a few. Here, I got a quick one. It says,
Undying
Kevin says, how many likes does this need to get for Tef to delete his Hunter and play Warlock full time? I'm going to require 100 trillion likes, Kevin, for that one. So if you could do that, we can make that happen. And then another question.
Didn't specify in Destiny 2, so many years from now, you might regret that. If Destiny's around.
Well, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Of course, yeah. And then another one, Spaghetti Noodle Guy says, when are you becoming a Hunter main? It didn't have anybody specific, so I'm guessing it's for Marco.
It's probably you, Marco, because we all play hunters.
Probably.
A Titan Master Race. What can I say? I will become a hunter main when there is a better alternative to pushing people off the map than Sunbreaker, the melting point. When hunters get that, I will switch to hunter main, like that.
Toxic, man.
No, it's just it's fun.
Yeah.
I have one. Well, actually, if we're doing last one, we should pick a good one. I mean, I have a Stranded Island one.
Let's just ask that one.
DCP special.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might as well. And then we'll do another one. We'll we'll search for the best last one, right?
Yeah, search for the best of the last.
Pressure.
So this is from Meta Rasputin, who said, "Question for Marco: You are stranded on an island filled with very aggressive mongooses. You can pick one DCP crew member who will turn into a weapon of her or his choice. Who do you choose? Each member can tell you what weapon they will turn into before you pick." So we're turning into a weapon. We are like transforming into a weapon. And then Marco has to pick one of us to defeat the mongooses.
So it's like,
why
who do you
have
trust?
To transform into a weapon? Why can't you just pick a weapon? That's a very, but sure, go ahead.
It's the same idea, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it's very real. It's like we're there with you, and we can actually, we can transform our bodies and become the weapon.
Oh, and then also transform back.
I'm assuming.
I hope so.
I'm yeah, we're transforming.
Can you talk while you're a weapon?
Yes, probably.
Depends on the weapon.
Oh, okay. Okay, go. Which weapons?
Okay, you know what? I'm going to do a loophole here. I will transform into a highly skilled and trained assassin. I'm a weapon.
That's not a weapon.
You know, by government, I'm a certified weapon.
How much mongoose training do you have? That doesn't seem like they'd prepare you for that as part of the training, to be quite honest.
I think I have to Google what mongoose means, actually.
It's Ricky Ticky, right?
All I can see in my head is this vehicle from Halo.
Right. Good point.
Oh, these are not even lethal. They're just a rat, a long rat.
Did they say deadly mongooses?
I don't know. They could probably gnaw your face off.
It said, let's see.
I think.
Was it deadly? Aggressive mongooses.
Yeah.
Oh,
very aggressive.
So somebody just needs to bring some food, and they're not aggressive anymore.
But I mean,
that could mean a lot.
If you have like an aggressive rabbit, it's not like the rabbit is going to do much, right?
Yeah,
like,
he's got you on a technicality. So it's pretty good.
I mean, you still have shoes. You can still kick, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of them, so you need to have some highly trained.
Apparently, they kill cobras.
I played soccer a lot.
I'm like a Navy SEAL.
Apparently,
all right?
Chat says they kill cobras, so they must be doing something, right?
Yeah, but those are like big worms.
A cobra?
Yeah.
You know, those alligators are just giant lizards. That's
Humans didn't become top of the food chain for no reason, okay?
I don't know. Should we have made that the last one, or are we doing one last one?
Do you guys have
We're lost without Briar. Nothing that...
Well, that's because Briar prepares the questions beforehand.
Nah,
so anytime Briar... No, he does.
He's just confident. He's like...
He does a list.
He
puts together a list of questions. So when he's like...
printed out pages before.
He curates.
He's printed it.
In the past, I've been like, you print
physical
these?
questions.
What?
Yeah. So when Briar's like, I can't come on, we're like, well, I don't have time to prepare for it.
Hugo always has some strange questions. So there's a strange question.
Hugo had one about sex robots. You want to do that one?
All right. Hugo Rune says EQ time. I don't know what EQ time is.
Is that the name of his book?
Oh, maybe. Yeah. If there are sex robots.
Yes. The answer is yes.
I'm not done with the question.
Okay.
If there are sex robots, as any right-thinking person hopes, would they be self-cleaning ? Or would they be another small robot that would be clean the sex robot? Or would there be a person whose job was to clean the sex robot? Can you think of a worse job? There's a lot of questions in there in that one question.
That's not the question I was hoping for, but sure, that would be. I think the robot could clean itself.
They'd be self-cleaning.
That's the right answer.
Yeah.
Everything else is just horrible. Because if the tiny robot's cleaning the big robot, who's cleaning the tiny robot?
Another
it's
person.
like
No, I'm thinking. I was thinking more
stuff.
like little nanobots that could clean.
That's very tiny.
What
do they do with like the mess, right? I mean, what does that mean?
They got to have a sanitation protocol.
They can just take a shower.
That's their sanitation protocol.
They go to the nanobot shower, obviously, Fran.
Okay. But I'm laughing because I'm picturing them all washing down the drain.
Becoming a special like
shower
on your sex bot.
It's like, man,
the future's
wild, that's a tough question, but Marco had the right answer.
Well, looks like we solved.
The answer is they eat it. Thanks for watching.
There it is.
Okay, they have a digestion system and everything.
And done.
That's the end. The nanobots eat the mess. That's how they clean it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Don't question it.
Strong finish.
Well, that's DCP episode number 170. Thank you very much for tuning in. Sorry,
Marco.
Watching. Marco, thanks for staying up so late as well. I know it's like.
Those are some very interesting questions.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If Brian was here, it would have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Or better. Definitely. I say better.
We did pretty good. We should
not bad.
pat ourselves on the back for that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Good round, guys. Oh man. Marco, where can people find you on the internet?
Probably on my YouTube channel, Marco Style. You can just Google that or type it in YouTube. You could probably find me. That's the best place, I guess. I have a Twitter, but it's not. I don't know. I sometimes post tweets.
Awesome.
I don't have anything else.
Okay. So.
Oh, I have a Discord, I guess.
All right. Yeah.
People wanna.
So YouTube is the main focus, though. That's where you want people to check out because you spent.
Oh yeah, I also have a Twitch, of course. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't stream as much anymore because I can't. It's just every now and then I go live. For example, if I'm gonna do the low man challenges, and then if I record stuff for a video, then I guess I'll be on Twitch. I might as well stream it. But other than that, I just don't have the time to stream anymore.
If you're gonna spend 40 hours editing a video,
till I get hacked, okay.
Yeah, if you're gonna spend 40 hours editing a video, then that's you want people to watch those videos. Absolutely, that's amazing time put into that. So you've a lot of passion put in those videos. So highly recommend checking out Marco Styles videos, guys. And Fran, where can people?
You better.
Where can people find Fran?
This week, actually, I'm going to mention as a reminder, be sure to support somebody in the Epic Store. I'm in the Epic Store. You can find me, Fran Mirabella, if you're on there anyway. I believe Teft and Watts, are you guys on there too?
Yeah.
I am not.
Teft?
Teft.
Yeah, because of Borderlands.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're not going to say what it is? Is it Tefty Teft? What's your code?
It's Tefty Teft, yeah.
You don't even know. It's Tefty Teft. No, anyway, but seriously, if you're on there, it's a great way to support. I just wanted to mention it this week. I always mention I'm on Twitch, but yeah.
Awesome. Watts?
I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Just look for Miss 5000 Watts.
Cool. And I'm Tefty Teft. You can talk to me at Teft on Twitter and catch my streams, twitch.tv/Tefty Teft. And that's the show. That's episode 170. Thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate all the support, guys. Whether you're watching live here on Twitch or catching it on one of the various podcast syndication places. And shout out to all the Twitch subs and also our Patreons as well. Really appreciate that, guys. And again,
thank you.
Make sure to check out the charity relief stuff that the Destiny Down Under podcast is doing for the brush fires in Australia. So it's good cause, and that's super sad stuff that's going on down there. So all the support that you guys can do, whatever is possible, is greatly appreciated on all that. So
absolutely.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you.
Thank you, everybody.
See you next week.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.